in the world are triune gods. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No, it's all a story. It's based on three. And then you have the three major religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Why three? Why couldn't it be seven? No, and then you'll find out, no, you're playing with numbers now. There's something going on here, and it's encoded. Nobody reads anything, nobody cares. You just do what you do because they were born into it. So if you're Catholic, you just go to Catholic church, and you never realize that as a Catholic, you're worshiping a god named Dagon. D-A-G-O-N is the god of Catholicism. Nobody knows anything about Dagon, and nobody cares. Why? Because it's just a church. So we go to church and we feel good, and we have all our friends there. And I said, yeah, but you're worshiping Dagon, goofball. Do you know that? Do you know who Dagon was?
Who?
Do you know what Dagon is? Because it's right there in front of you if you just look at the church.
The ultimate guide on astrotheology.
With a religious symbol, and that is an ancient Phoenician god. That god was called Dagon, D-A-G-O-N. Dagon was a fish god. In the Jewish encyclopedia, under the heading of Dagon, you will see a picture of the priest of Dagon, or the god himself, and he's wearing a fish head and the body of a fish down his back. So now we see the Pope's headdress. On the top is the Pope's mitre. But when turned, you then see he's actually wearing a fish head, the fish god Dagon, because he's representing the worship of an ancient Phoenician god. So this is why today Christians on the back of their cars, you will see, have a fish symbol. I'm thinking that that's to denote them as Christians worshiping Jesus. No, it's a fish symbol because it's denoting Dagon, the fish god. Religion comes to the world in the age of Pisces, and Pisces is, of course, the two fish of the constellation of Pisces. Dagon was a very important mystical god to the ancient peoples in the Middle East, in Babylonia, Sumeria, Phoenicia, Canaan, is 5,000 years old. And that very powerful mystical god is still dominating the spirit and the intellectual thinking of religion even to today.
Principal deity of the Philistines, and a prominent figure in ancient Mesopotamian religion, was often depicted as a half-man, half-fish figure, his lower body resembling a fish, while his upper body retained human features with the head and arms of a man. This composite form symbolized both fertility and maritime dominion, as the Philistines and other coastal cultures revered Dagon as a god of agriculture and the sea. Additionally, ancient texts refer to Dagon as the father of Baal, a god often associated with storms and fertility, who is frequently condemned in biblical writings. Dagon's position as the progenitor of Baal placed him at the top of the Philistine pantheon, underscoring his significance and the depth of his veneration. Turning to the Roman Catholic Church, some find potential connections between Dagon worship and the Church's symbolic practices, particularly through the mitre worn by the Pope and bishops. The mitre, a tall, pointed and split headdress with a shape resembling an open fish's mouth, was introduced around the 11th century. According to Catholic sources, this headgear signifies the bishop's holiness, dignity, and spiritual authority. However, the design bears a marked similarity to the fish-shaped headdress of Dagon's priests, inviting questions about the origins and influences behind this iconic garment. A comparison of images reveals an undeniable resemblance between the two. The Catholic Church traditionally explains that the mitre's 2 points symbolize the Old and New Testaments, and that its form evolved from the earlier tiara worn by bishops. However, for those exploring religious history, the resemblance between the Catholic mitre and Dagon's fish symbolism remains notable. Additionally, the Church's veneration of Mary as the Queen of Heaven further draws comparisons to ancient worship practices. In the Old Testament, the title Queen of Heaven is associated with the Goroth, or Ishtar, the consort of Baal, thereby linking her to Dagon through lineage. Given that Dagon was considered Baal's father, the parallels between these ancient deities and certain Catholic traditions, the elevation of Mary as Queen of Heaven and the adoption of the fish-like mitre, could prompt questions about the origins of these practices and their connections to earlier pagan traditions.